On today's video, we're going to talk about surviving the holidays in an abusive household. Now, for me, growing up, it was really hard to be out of school for an extended period of time. While I may not have had the easiest time in school with bullying and such, it was way worse at home. Like, your home is supposed to be your safe place, but it comes home with you, and there's nowhere for you to go. There's no break. So anytime I had extended breaks from school with Thanksgiving, Christmas, especially summer, it was extremely hard kind of being cut off from everybody. So I actually really enjoyed being able to go to school, even if it wasn't the easiest thing with some of my peers. For the holidays, whenever I was really little, we would go to like my aunt's house, and there was all of our family there. It was decorated beautifully. You could smell things baking. It was just magical. I absolutely loved getting to go. I always got to wear cute little dresses. It was just very enjoyable. After my grandmother passed away whenever I was in kindergarten, we just stopped going. I'm not sure if my sibling still got to go or not over to their house, but I wasn't allowed to after that. My sibling was a few years older than me, and I don't think that my mother was able to put the amount of control over them as they were towards me. I think they could see that, he had already found a outside, unit to go to, whereas she could still kind of cut me off, if that makes any sense. The rest of the time, I was able to go towards my biological father's family for Christmas and spend it with them for several years. And then, slowly but surely, I stopped going. By the time I was in high school, I didn't really go over there for Christmas anymore or any holidays. So when I say that I was very alone in high school, I was very alone. My siblings' birthday is a couple days before Christmas. So whenever they left, we stopped celebrating. There was a couple years where I would dig out the Christmas tree from the basement or the attic and just set it up in my room, just to kind of, celebrate with myself. But we didn't do that anymore. As far as Thanksgivings and things like that, we would usually have food that was donated from the church or anything like that, which I'm not knocking. It's perfectly fine to be a low income family, but it's not what that's not what the holidays are about. They're about family and spending time with each other. But I didn't have that. There wasn't that closeness, that togetherness, that love in my home. And that's what I was craving. One Christmas, it was the first Christmas after my sibling had left. I was just starting high school, and I asked for a cedar chest to store my memories in from high school. A lot of my family members had their own chests, and I don't know, I just wanted it. It's what I wanted. And I got it. I got it for Christmas. And just started putting things in there, art projects, pictures, whatever. Just started filling my memories. Whenever I went to leave and I had told my mother that I didn't want to live with her anymore, it happened because, I'll go back a little bit, it happened because prior to this, I just finished cosmetology school in like March, and my grandpa, he's just the most amazing man I've ever had the privilege of knowing. He was living with us for a couple months, and things are different with him there. She acts differently in front of other people. She's kinder, more caring. But he stayed with us. So the day I told my mother I was leaving, my grandfather had decided that he was going to move back in with my aunts, which I do think that was the best decision that he could have made for himself. But that's the day I'm like, I have to get out. If I don't get out, I'm never going to. I'm never going to be able to. So later that same day, whenever I told my mom that I was going to move out, I didn't plan on it like that day. I was just like letting her know, like, these are my plans. Like, I was 19. I had graduated high school early. I had already finished cosmetology school. I was like, I'm gonna leave. Maybe not today, but in the next couple days. Like, I'm going to pack my stuff and move in with my then boyfriend, now husband. She flipped out completely. She told me that I needed to pack what I could carry, and that's all I could have. And that I'm not taking my cedar chest. That I was not allowed to take my cedar chest until I had my own home, and then I could come get it. But I was not able to leave with it. I also couldn't take my vehicle. It was a vehicle that I had paid for. However, I had gotten it a day before I turned 18 because I needed it for college. So, because it was like an hour drive. So it had mine and my mother's name on the title. And she wouldn't let me leave with it. So, with nowhere to go and no way to get there, because my then boyfriend lived 3 hours away, I called my best friend. Actually, I couldn't because took my SIM card from my phone. So, I got on the internet and I asked my best friend to come get me, and she did. She came and got me. We loaded up what I could, which granted, I didn't really have a lot, like clothes and such wise, but we loaded up what we could, and she drove me up here the next day. What I'm getting at that is, even though I had a relationship with my mother for several more years, granted after this initially happened, I didn't talk to her for several months, but she never let me have my cedar chest. So this is where it's at now. It is now in her garden. And I mean, it's whatever. It was my gift to, for me. But it kind of sucks. But, I'll go buy my own now. But it's kind of really shitty. If y'all need an exhibit, this was my cedar chest, my gift, that out of spite she wouldn't put in her front yard in case I ever were to drive by and see it. If it wasn't such a shitty thing to do, I'd actually kind of like what you did. But it's okay. I'm not going to get broken over a cedar chest that you bought for me. yeah, anyways, like after that, we just didn't really have Christmas. There wasn't like a tree up with like presents under it or anything, and that's fine. You know, we didn't have a lot of money. Somehow, before this, we always had some sort of Christmas. You know, at Christmas dinner, stuff underneath the tree. You know, just something. I mean, I'm a teenager. You know, just anything. Uh, but my best friend at the time, or actually still now, she's still my best friend, but they just live right down the road, and I would go there for Christmas Day, and they always made sure that I spent it with them, and that they always had something underneath the tree for me, and that I always got to open up something on Christmas. So that was really special. And I know that I've told them that, like, how much I appreciate it, because I wouldn't have had, you know, a holiday without them. And it meant a lot. It doesn't matter what it was that they gave me, you know, small, a picture, like it doesn't matter, because, you know, they were there. You know, they gave me something that I otherwise wouldn't have had. And, you know, they made the situation not seem so bad. Like, no matter what, I still, you know, I had someone, even though they couldn't do anything about what was going on, I had them. And it meant a lot. I mean, it still means a lot. My love language is words of affirmation and gift giving, and, you know, I think some of it stems from, you know, growing up without those things, and so now I try and do that as much as possible. You know, Christmas is probably one of my favorite holidays, but it's because I can give, and I tend to go a little overboard sometimes, but I love giving things now, and I try and do words of affirmation whenever I feel like I can, at perfect strangers. You know, anything to lighten their day, it matters. It matters to make somebody feel good. But besides, obviously, you know, the gifts and stuff, it was hard. You know, it was hard to be stuck at home with, you know, people that were constantly putting you down. Not people, her. And I know she wanted me to mention, like, you know, there was periods of time where she let friends of mine move in, like, one at a time. But there was an instance where she had called me a fat ass in front of one of those friends, and they went off on her. And, you know, obviously they got kicked out. But so, you know, there are people that seen these things, and they couldn't do a lot about it, but it meant a lot for someone to stand up for me and to be there and to, you know, help me where they could. Maybe, you know, ease the pain I was going through however they could. Anyways, I know that, you know, with COVID and everything, a lot of people that are maybe going through similar situations as me were stuck at home, and I couldn't imagine. I couldn't have gone through it. I couldn't have. I can tell you now, I wouldn't have made it if I was still in my home through COVID and not being able to go to school or go out at all. So at the end of my videos, I'm going to start posting hotlines. If anyone's able to, or going through a similar situation, or knows somebody who is, please reach out to one of these numbers. Or if you're, you know, in an immediate situation where you need help, call 911 if you're able to. You don't even have to call anymore. You can text. You can text 911 and give them your location first, your location and what is going on and who you are. Your location, what is going on, who you are, and they will get somebody there. They will. If you can't talk on the phone, try and text. You know, 911 is a free service, so you don't have to have service necessarily on your cell phone to do it. okay? You don't have to have minutes or time or whatever. You can call and someone will help you. They'll get there. If you like my videos and you would like to watch more and hear more of my story, please like and subscribe. It will help it get heard more. But thank you, and I hope you have a great Thanksgiving. Bye.